Here in Portugal, there is an old popular saying that says, "You don't change a team that wins." These words fit like a glove into the project of today's video. And why? Because this machine is the result of a team collaboration. A team that in the recent past created this one. Surely some of you still remember this Honda, because in 2021, it almost won the election of the top 10 best cafe racers of the year. This means they have the technical skills, talent, and of course, very good taste. Welcome to Racertv. This is what I call a stunning and dramatic entrance to present a beautiful and inspiring machine. And if this sequence required a lot of work to film, imagine the effort that went into building this BMW. This custom motorcycle is the latest work from Michal Cwiek, owner of MOCNO Studio, and Jacek Mulak, founder of Cardsharper Customs, both located in Poland. They decided to label their collaboration Morfen, in which Michal acts as lead designer and handles paint and finishes, while Jacek take the mechanic and fabricator work. So, everything started with this 1985 BMW R80. As most of you have probably already noticed, it is currently very difficult to implement something new in the R series. Which means we are now at a stage where there is a winning customization formula that almost everyone loves. But fortunately, there is still room to try some variations. And I see this project as an example to follow, also having some small innovations. Those types of subtle changes, which are only detected after a closer look, but which make a difference in the final result. The Morfen Team's initial plan was to work with traditional cafe racer elements and combine them in a way that would create something modern and aggressive. And if this was the main directive of the project, I have to recognize they really nailed it. If you pay attention, the modern and aggressive flavor is very well implemented in the overall stance. Notice how the main body is slightly tilted forward. In order to achieve this dynamic silhouette, they shortened the front forks and swapped the rear shock out for a longer unit. But this is still not enough. Looking at this transition, you'll notice that the rear of the fuel tank was elevated. This may be an insignificant detail, but it makes a big difference. Otherwise, the subframe could not have this alignment. We all know that in the world of cafe races, there is a tradition of putting this line in a horizontal position. But in this case, we have to admit that this dynamic stance works beautifully. In a way, it conveys an idea of speed, even when standing still. The entire subframe, seat, and rear cowl are entirely custom made. And opting for this polished finish on this structure was a very good decision, because it not only adds some refinement to the project, but also avoids black paint, which is the most common choice. Another clever detail is this subtle curve in the tube under the seat. Notice how it is aligned with the fixing plate for the main frame. It's the kind of detail that makes the design of any piece more interesting and attractive. As far as the engine is concerned, the Morfen Team created a very interesting and innovative detail. As you may know, this engine comes from the factory with the air filter inside this box. But when opting to install a pair of pod filters, most builders replace the air filter housing with an aftermarket part. Instead of doing that, they created an entirely new box, which is closed with two side covers. Inside this box is the ignition and some of the electronic elements. But notice how these covers have precisely the same design language as the cylinder fins and the front part of the engine block. Without a doubt, a beautiful solution. Regarding the painting scheme, it is clear that there are many hours of work here. And this can be proven by the number of drawings made by Michal. Unlike most, he opted for this dent in the fuel tank pinstripes. By painting this section black and leaving the seat walls in the same tone, this creates a connection between the two elements. Furthermore, it conveys a different and quite interesting look in the general aesthetics of the project. I would say that this entire build is extremely coherent. It is clear that each decision was very well thought out, which means that Jacek and Michal make an excellent team. So, before ending the video, I would like to clarify one thing. Some of you have probably already noticed it. But if this is not your case, the artificial voice I used on this video has a new feature. After so long, I finally found a voice capable of transmitting emotions. But don't worry. It is still the same old voice, but with an artificial intelligence upgrade. I know it is not perfect yet, but with time and experience, I am sure it will improve dramatically. And with this evolution, I hope the channel grows even faster with the support of all those who speak English fluently, and also those who don't like hearing artificial voices. But let me know your opinion about this new upgraded voice on the comments section. Thank you for watching Racertv. And as always, I hope to see you on the next video.